In breaking news, well, not so breaking, Kim Kardashian just posted more photos of her and her Cybertruck on Instagram. Having said that, there continues to be tremendous misinformation and misunderstanding about Tesla by the general public. Even the big YouTube influencers like Marcus Brownlee are still saying that the prices of a Model X or Model Y is tens of thousands more than they really are now. The good news? Well, Elon Musk in a post on X just said that Tesla is now heavily advertising their prices. And surprisingly, Tesla is now advertising on many social media and online platforms. We're going to take a look at these videos and these ads. Let's take a closer look. I've got Larry Goldberg joining us. He's a multi-entrepreneur. Thank you, Larry.
Thanks, Herbert.
Advertising. It's a conversation we've been having quite a bit. And some people are saying, don't use the word advertising, think marketing. Marketing includes word of mouth, includes, different kind of events that Tesla's now doing many, many more events on X. Anytime Elon does something, it generates interest. The Cybertruck is a marketing behemoth. Wherever it goes, it is just taking off. And here's an example. So here's Kim Kardashian just posted yet another set of new photos with her Cybertruck to her 364 million followers. That's crazy. That's the size of the United States, right? Free advertising for Tesla. And so here's, all her photos of her Cybertruck. Normally a celebrity like this would demand you to pay them millions of dollars to do this kind of advertising. And yet here she is just doing it because she wants to look cool. She gets more benefit from it. So the problem is, yes, that's happening. But there's still tremendous misunderstanding of prices. And here's an example of why Tesla needs to start heavily advertising their prices, Matthew says. Here's a clip of Marcus Brownlee and what he thinks is happening.
Again, you're picking between R1S, 90 grand, Tesla Model X, 90 grand, and this, 50 to 75 grand. So you can say, yes, I'm paying a lot of money for a Kia, but also you could say, I'm not paying a lot of money for 250 to 280 miles of.
Okay, so that's Marcus talking about a Model X at 90 grand. And yet we actually can see that it's not 90 grand. You can see here that down here in the vehicle price is, 80 grand. And then if you take the $7,500 off, it says $79,990, and then it gets to $68,990 after probable savings. Now, including savings, but it's certainly not 90 grand. And then with financing, right? Again, they add the 3 years gas savings, which is a big deal. But, the sticker price is at $68,000.
But Marcus was comparing EV to EV, and he just got the price wrong by $10,000. That's not nothing. That's a big number.
That's Model X. Now here's another example model of number 2. Again, literally no one that I know in real life, sorry, Tesla nerds, believes you can buy a Model Y in the 30,000s before rebates. Here's Marcus, his thinking. And again, this guy's a car expert. He's doing his reviews of cars. He still doesn't get it right.
Or even today, honestly, you could get a Model Y for $55,000.
Wow.
And is there any reason to consider this one over those? Let me know. I kind of feel like VinFast is despite being a gigantic company, they're at the mercy of being new to EVs.
So 50 to 55,000 is what he's saying, but of course the Model Y is actually 38,630. That includes the 7,360 price adjustment. So even if you don't add that in, it is 45,000, not 50 to 55. Another $10,000 difference there. Anyway, so the reason I bring this up is because Elon responds to Matthew and he says, "We are." And he goes, right? Matthew goes, "Why Tesla needs to heavily advertise their prices?" And Elon says, "We are." And then I'll show you some examples of how Tesla started to advertise. But what's your thinking so far?
One of the differences I've had with Elon is this whole issue of advertising. Elon's thesis is you build it, they will come. You produce a product people will love and they will buy it. And that's absolutely true, and he's proven it. On the other hand, he's in a rapidly evolving marketplace. How is it evolving? Prices are dropping. Why are prices dropping? Prices are dropping because China is in severe financial difficulty. That is causing prices globally to drop. By the way, that's the underlying issue about pricing. And we're in a situation where, models are coming into the market at lower prices than Tesla's original price. So Tesla's had to reduce their prices in order to not only meet the demand in China, the demand for reduced prices in China, but also to expand the TAM of their sold two products at two popular brands. Now, when you do that, you can't rely upon the Jungle Telegraph to tell people about those changes, because that's changing the actual positioning of the car in the marketplace. That kind of thing, when we have people's ideas fixed in the marketplace as to the pricing and the positioning of the car, to change that pricing and positioning in the car to meet new circumstances, you have to communicate with the marketplace. So yeah, I fully agree with Elon about the problem of advertising, the negative aspects of advertising. But when it comes to that level of communication, you have to make huge changes in people's perception. You need the power of modern marketing and advertising tools. And so that's why I think it is time. It's past time. We should have done this, some time ago. I'm absolutely with those guys who have been very strong about marketing. So that's my view. And I think it's past time. We have to do it. Time is right. Let's get it done.
Yeah. So I'm in agreement of that. And just to be clear, because there's people out there that are going to go, that's not what you said last time. It's not true. I'm going to be very clear. What I've always said the whole time was that in 2020, was it now 2022, January, when Tesla had a 20% price cut, then there was a huge group of people saying, why are we doing price cuts? The margins are going to fall from 25% to 17%. How dare you do that? And I'm saying, well, no. And then they go, you should have advertised instead. My argument was, at that time, advertising in lieu of price cuts was wrong. Now, I've always said advertising should be done. Marketing should be done. Education should be done. There's zero reason why a company should not do that ever. So just be clear. When I say, I've always said you should do marketing and advertising and education. Why would you say that that's not the right thing? It's such small dollars, but it's those people who are saying they should have done it in lieu of price cuts. That's where the argument is that I come in. Certainly not the 20% down, because it went up 20% prices because of various reasons. COVID, the economy, those kind of things that made it go artificially high. They just went back to the same prices that they were selling it when they started releasing the product in the first place. Right now, sure, at this point, the small dollars, absolutely. Sometimes you could have, instead of cutting 1,000, you should have advertised. Absolutely. Now, Tesla decides to marketing and advertising, but you know how they do things very differently, and they think about things intelligently, and they want to use their dollars appropriately. They know that the number one best way to create marketing and advertising is word of mouth. Proven time and time again. Create a great product that is word of mouth worthy. And that's what they've done. So that's what they've been relying on for a long time. But I agree with you. We're no longer at the sub 1 million cars out there. We're now at the 2 million per year. We're now people are buying this car who know nothing about Tesla. They're just buying a best car, cheapest price, all that. So they know nothing about Tesla. We need to educate. And so now the next thing after word of mouth, it's social media. And so that's what the Tesla, I'm going to show you all the things they're doing there. The question I want to have for you is, do people think that they should be advertising in a Super Bowl? Is that advertising? Do you think that they should be advertising on TV? Only when they see a TV ad, they're going to say, finally they're advertising. Let's just complete first that I think that the reason why they're doing the next set of advertising that they've just completely opened up in the last month, social media, is because it's measurable and they can actually see it working or not working. So let's take a look at this. So, this is just a few days ago. Sawyer reported that Tesla is now advertising directly on cars.com homepage. Cars.com gets 27 million website visitors per month. Here's what it looks like. You can see that they're clearly showing the prices. That's the key thing that they're marketing. And even that, some people are going, why are they doing the prices? They should be talking about the safety. They should be talking about these things. Tesla knows what moves because they spent the last 2-3 months testing which ads works best. And clearly pricing is number one. And of course, they're going to do everything else, safety and others. Tesla's now running paid advertisements on Google Search, YouTube, X, Instagram, Facebook, and select airports. So this is just 2 days ago, Tesla has officially started paid advertisements on Instagram for the first time. Instagram has over 2 billion monthly active users, 25% of global population. So this is what it looks like on Instagram. Again, Model Y starts 36,000, get 5,000 free supercharging miles, take delivery, drive the #1 most American-made car, and they focus on the manufacturing. It's interesting. So that's, and then they started advertising on YouTube as well. So I'm going to play one of these YouTube videos that they did here. I'm going to turn down the music so that we don't get copyrighted for it. So very similar to what you saw on Instagram. But again, it's like, it looks like exactly the same one. Once you create an ad like this,
something that's super important. So the cargo space in the rear, the additional cargo space in the front, fold flat seats that give you this wide open area if you need to do it, the towing that we have on the back end, all of that combined, and then saying, you know what, it's still going to be a Tesla when you drive it. I want to make people's understanding of what an EV can be and what a product is, make it a part of your life, a part of your experience. Ultimately, it results in a product people love, and that's when you know you've hit the right point of vehicle engineering.
So that's just another example of another ad targeted. These are targeted, right? So certain people, they know who's going to see this and who's not going to see this, who's already seen it once, and maybe they might even know who's in the process of looking for a car soon, right? They know these things with social media. You don't know that with a one-way TV ad per se. It's thoughts on what you just saw there?
Yeah, I'm absolutely aligned with you. Look, advertising would not have solved the problem that pricing changes solved. And anybody who said that is just, I mean, they're talking out of their, the change in pricing changes the positioning of the car in the marketplace, opens up the car to a much larger TAM. That's the reason for the price cut. It's still an expensive car as cars go. It's not an inexpensive car. They're positioning the car to a much broader market. But it doesn't help if you don't advertise. So both sides of this argument are, in a way, right. You've got to combine the process. To reduce the price of the car and not advertise it is kind of as crazy as advertising it without reducing the price of the car. So I think they've done the right steps finally. I think it took them too long to get there. That's what I think. I think the advertising they're doing now is really good. They've obviously done their homework well. It's just taken them a long time to do that homework. So hopefully this moves the needle for them over the next year or so. But what they're doing now is really good in terms of getting prepped for what's coming. When the new platform arrives and they start delivering models against that platform, this is exciting.
Thank you for bringing that point, because that was another point that I was making to people, is that the people who said you should have advertised in lieu of price cuts. So today, the price would be 20% higher than now, and you're going to go mass advertise a car that's even higher than what Marcus Bradley thought it was. That's what you're going to do? No, what needed to happen was you need to get the cars to be as price parity to the ICE where we're at today, even cheaper, right? More affordable than ICE. That's the goal, has always been the goal. So I'm in favor of them cutting price more to get it to be so low that when you advertise this, it becomes an absolute no-brainer for everybody. And so, you know, and then anyways, we're now talking about FSD supplementing the margins. And, finally, people are going to understand what Elon's been saying for years, and that they just brushed it off. Oh, margins, margins, margins. That will be decades from now before you'll get that. Well, now people are realizing that FSD uptake could be higher than they realize. That can supplement the margins. So the more cars out there was important. And they also needed to make the volume of the cars, because they need to have every factory needed to at least be 85% capacity run. You can't lower that. You want to keep it humming. And so you need to get out there. And if you can't sell it because of macro, because of demand, you need to cut prices, sometimes.
I think you need to cut prices just to expand the TAM of the car because, at
Where
the
we're
margins
heading.
that they were earning, the trade-off between reducing the margins and expanding the TAM is very large indeed. So that trade-off really, the argument for moving in that direction. The problem is, doing one part of the strategy without doing the other part of the strategy.
Right.
I think was the negative.
Sure.
Really impacted the company quite significantly. Do I think that they would be ahead of where they are today had they started advertising earlier? Yes, I do. But I don't know that it would have been that great. I mean, it wouldn't have been that dramatic, but would they be doing another 100,000 cars a year? It's possible. It's more than possible. So 100,000 cars a year is a lot of money. It would certainly more than pay the advertising. But we are where we are, and we are positioning now for the new platform. Very important, very important. The Cybertruck, is part of the halo and really is a good reason to be advertising. I would lead with the Cybertruck as the kind of halo, Uber opportunity, not to sell Cybertrucks, but to sell the brand. The other thing they're doing now, which is really good, is that they are highlighting some of the other executives of the company. We're seeing no longer just Elon represented as the spokesman for the company. We're seeing Lars, huge. He's such a great, all of them are so great. Franz, Lars, all of these guys are so capable. So I'm so happy that they're being, allowed to, not being allowed to, but they're taking the initiative to do this. Is very important.
So, there's a number of Tesla investors who've been very negative about Tesla. And one of the reasons was because of advertising. And then now you're hearing some of them anyways going, hey, they're starting to do this now. Now I'm going to, there's always been one of my things. Once I see them advertising, I'm going to now be a lot more positive about it. So do you think that what you've seen so far, you've seen word of mouth, of course, through the roof. They do a lot of referral programs. And now you've got social media marketing that they've pumped up. Do you think that you still need to see TV advertisements before you go, they're finally advertising?
No,
you don't.
I don't see TV as being very, look, I'm not the right guy to ask. Firstly, I'm not an advertising expert. And secondly, I don't watch TV.
Yeah, I don't either.
I just don't watch it. I don't know anybody who does watch TV. Actually, it's not true. My son's in-laws do watch the news and they watch football. So there are a large number of people who watch sports on TV. And, there are those people who do watch TV. Tesla buyers a little bit less so. So but I'm open to it. I think one can do very selective TV advertising.
I think the answer would be if you ask a marketing advertising expert, they'll say that, it's 360 degrees, right? You got to do them all. And it's not like you just pick one angle. You got to try all of them. And so, they should probably, and they will probably do TV advertisement. It's just not like, what are you guys expecting? It's already happening. So that's good news.
The economics of TV advertising are not great anymore, but I could be wrong. They have real experts at TV advertising in X. They have people who really know about TV advertising there. But I trust that they'll get it right.
Yeah, I think the YouTube advertising is pretty well TV for many people now, and yet you can target so well with this, so incredibly well. So you take your dollars, go further. And then of course, X, they're doing it on X as well. So they know exactly what's happening. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Larry. I'm so glad to hear that this is happening, and it's a lot more than people realize, but you got Elon saying, we are going to go ahead and start advertising, especially the price point, making people be aware. And that's unfortunate because I think this is probably the biggest misunderstanding at this point. Biggest misunderstanding.
One last word, Herbert. When Elon spends $1, he turns it over, he weighs it very carefully, and he spends it incredibly carefully. And that's what we're seeing with what he's doing in advertising. Elon's not in business for tomorrow. He's in business for next year and next decade. He's got a very long time horizon. And so when he does decide to do advertising, he does it with very great forethought. Just his way of doing business.
Yeah. I think there was a belief out there that Elon was anti-advertising, that because he's so dogmatic and stubborn, that I'm going to build the best product and I don't think advertising works. And I hope that seeing this shows that no, he's just he's willing to change, and he's willing to see the data, and he'll definitely do it. And they're doing it
Data
now.
driven,
So
no doubt.
data driven, and that's more the issue than it is dogmatic.
Yeah.
I think that advertising doesn't work. So thank you so much, Larry. Follow him on X at Tesla Larry. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye. I've created a website that is the most comprehensive resource for the Tesla investor. Please check it out. Simply go to my website at herbertong.com.